You volunteered to help. Good day to you, our dear light workers, star seeds, here on planet Earth in the midst of the Great Awakening, in the midst of this February of 2021. It feels as if the world is in suspension. Time has stopped and humanity is waiting with bated breath for some big event to happen. Days and weeks and months go by, and we feel that we are still in hold. Still the mainstream media parrot their fear-filled messages. Still the powers that be push the deadlines of the disease and the necessity of masking and social distancing. And still, a considerable portion of the population is in the illusional delusion of their planet Earth indoctrination. Still, they believe the narrative, the story that the powers that be feed them through the mainstream media and claim as the truth. It is so important for us to take our attention, our focus off the events around us. Certainly, we can watch them from a peaceful and neutral distance, knowing that all is well, and knowing that all will end in divine perfection, with victory to the light. Let us not, though, get dragged down in the details of the battle. Let us not focus on each event, each revelation of nefarious plans and dark happenings, for we are points of focus, points of awareness in the consciousness of God. We are fragments, particles of the divine, and what we focus on becomes our reality. It is time for us to focus on our own ascension, to make that our wonderful reality, to put our attention on our awakening, on raising our frequency to the maximum that we can. And we do this by following our bliss, by doing what gives us joy. Let us talk today of your Lightworker journey and how and why you volunteered to come to Earth. Dolores Cannon, who was a pioneering past life hypnotist and therapist, put her clients into a deep theta, somnambulistic trance state. With this deep hypnotism, she bypassed the ego and was able to talk with both the client's subconscious and their soul, their higher self. From this, she gleaned information on both the client's individual human journey and the greater picture of human incarnation. A spirit taught with her through thousands of clients, she put together the history of our divine journey through the planet Earth schoolroom. As we have often discussed, Earth is unique in the universe. It is the densest, heaviest planet in which souls incarnate as physical beings. On Earth, the light and the dark, the divine and the devil, vie for the attention, the focus, the allegiance of mankind. And mankind, with his empathic naivety, his lack of memory, and easily programmable nature, is influenced to believe that which he is told. And so the dark ones, the shadow government, who are obsessed with power, control, and cruel manipulation of their human victims, became, over time, more and more powerful, to the degree where they constrained and constricted mankind into confusion, division, and self-abuse. The situation was dark indeed. It looked as if humanity and the world would be destroyed, and the Light Alliance, those angelic forces that watch over the world, could not allow this. Mankind's physical form is precious to the universe. It is unique in its creation and experience, for on Earth low frequencies, in which fear can be experienced, are present. And by negotiating the challenge of negativity and dark emotions, mankind learns to know his divine self in a new and deep way. This is a gift he gives to creation, reporting back his experiences to Source itself. This, then, was a difficult and dark situation on Earth, and universal law prevented the angels and humanity's divine helpers from interfering from outside the earthly realm. So it was decided that beings of a higher vibration, beings that could live the earthly schoolroom life for their own benefit and, at the same time, increase the frequency of humanity by their high vibration, such beings would be asked to volunteer to come to Earth to lift its vibration from inside. They would be energy generators for humanity and for the planet. They would, just by being on Earth, raise the frequency of those around them, of all they came in contact with. And so, there were 3 waves of volunteers. The first wave came in towards the end of the Second World War. They would now be in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. These brave souls had the hardest time. In the late 1940s and 50s, the earth was in a very dark place, with families disrupted, countries ravaged by war, refugees, poverty, and famine. Fear and negative emotion ruled the day. You, our dear light workers, came into this chaos, this confusion. From the start, you did not feel that you belonged. You felt alienated, different from your fellows. You could not understand the violence, the cruelty, the dishonesty. You could not communicate with your brethren. You were told you were too sensitive. And sensitive you were, for you were inherently loving and compassionate. And you were reviled and denigrated by your brethren. You had very difficult lives. Many of you turned to alcohol and drugs, anything to still the pain of your feelings, of your not belonging, of your not being or knowing how to behave. Many of you attempted suicide. Despite all you suffered, just by being here, you achieved your purpose and raised the vibration of all around you. Then came the second wave of volunteers. They had a somewhat easier time. The first incursions had been made, and the earth was slowly on its upward path. The second generation also did not want to be here. Again, they felt they did not belong. They felt they were adrift in a foreign land. Their ideas, their love, their light did not resonate with the negativity that prevailed around them. Many of them did not want relationships or children. They did not want to create karma. Some of them had not had previous lives. However, since the soul would have had too hard a time in the earthly life without previous experience, past lives with useful information were impressed upon them, so that in this way they would have the tools needed to navigate human life, and a coat of protection was cast about them so that they would not create karma for themselves. They are, however, frustrated, for they want to be doing, yet when they ask what they should do, they are told that they don't need to do anything. Just be, just breathe. Your being here is enough. You radiate life and love. These first 2 waves of volunteers came in with the old DNA. Mankind has, through the eons of challenges, been stripped of his original DNA. The third wave of volunteers were the children, the magnificent children, whose DNA was already formulated for the ascension, the change to the new earth. These young ones are the future of the world. They bring in new ideas, a new enthusiasm, a new way of looking at the world. It is they that will lead us into the beautiful new world. They will be the leaders, the organizers, the bringers of new methodologies, of new technology, of communion and camaraderie between all. And so, dear ones, we and all humanity are moving with planet Earth into a new vibration, into a new era, into an age of peace and enlightenment that you have enabled, that you have pioneered. What is enlightenment? It is knowing the truth of who and what we are. It is self-actualizing ourselves into knowing what gives us joy. It is understanding our power and using it to the full to envisage, imagine, and create a world of love and light, create a wonderful reality. A world where communion and camaraderie reign and universal justice prevails. A world where the wheel of karma is ended and humanity is freed from all the travails that have held him down. And so we know in our hearts, the best is yet to come, dear brethren. Yes, the best is yet to come. That was Aita, channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings indeed.